the Isle of Man, and it's nice to see you here, Rick. Good morning.
Hello, Rick.
Hello.
Are you still spending that kind of money? Are you still making that kind of money?
No, it's slight exaggeration on where the money went. It was a sort of a press thing. I went on tour and took the American Symphony Orchestra around America, and they gave me a bill for that amount of money at the end of it. But it always looked good. The press people said, that'll be good, we'll put that down. You spent, you know,
That's
£1
right.
million.
With the lottery now, people are always being asked, aren't they, if you won it, you know, what would you spend £1 million on? And you managed to get shot of it in that short time.
Yeah, so yes, it was great. It actually was spent on the music. And the odd racehorse and car.
What about the cars? Yeah, because you've been
Well, that was another thing. They kept writing about all the cars I had, and it was true that I looked out my window one morning and every car in the street was mine. But the difference was I had a car company. Shouldn't laugh.
I like the street so much I bought the cars.
Yeah, I bought the cars. But I had a car company called the Fragile Carriage Company. We used to rent cars out to films. We had a lot of old classic cars, and they went out to films. Royal Family. In fact, Princess Margaret was one of our best customers for cars. But of course, when it was printed up and the pictures went out in the paper,
yes,
Fragile Carriage Company was always left off, and it's Rick with his cars.
Better story, better story.
You know, so in the end, you sort of just let it go, along with the spending of the money thing.
The thing that surprised me, I never knew you were in the Strawbs.
No, they didn't know much either, because we were legless most of the time. So that was a great band and a lot of fun. I was there for only about a year and a half, but it was a smashing year and a half. Yeah.
Because you had initial training, wasn't it, at the Royal College of Music?
Yeah, that was one of the few mistakes that the Royal College made by letting me in back in the 60s, and it was quite sad, really. I'd had a real good classical training and also played in lots of bands and pally bands and jazz bands, pubs, strip clubs, anywhere I could play, really. Yeah. And I thought that with my training that the college would be able to piece all the bits of the jigsaw together so I would know what I wanted to do. And it didn't actually work like that, but I was quite lucky because I went off and did sessions during that time with David Bowie and a few other people.
Yeah, you came to a kind of a crossroads, didn't you?
Yeah.
You were either going to go the classical way or the way you went.
Well, on the teaching side of things, I changed from the performers course to the teaching course, and they told me that on the Burnham scale of pay in 1969 I could earn £18 a week. So the decision wasn't
and you
that...
thought, hey.
No, I thought, no, rock and roll, here I come. Because you get £9 a session back then, and so if you did 3 sessions in a day, you could pick up £27, which was wouldn't actually get me the London Symphony Orchestra, but it would certainly go a long way to keeping the Cortina running. You know?
But what did your family think about that? I mean, it's quite something to be, you know, accepted at the Royal College of Music, to finish before you, you know, to leave before you finish something.
Well, my dad was really good, but when I told my mum, there were tantrums and tears and shouts and
It's
screams.
usually the other way around. It's usually Dad.
Yeah, well, you know, as I say, there was all these shouts, screams, tantrums, but I got over that, and Mum was a bit mad and all, but it was all right at the end of the day, you know.
Yeah, just before the break, they were showing a clip of your Yes days, the long hair and all that,
since then, haven't you?
and the gear.
Yeah. Well, actually, I still class myself as quite lucky, even though I'm one of the sort of the great ageing rockers of the 70s. I mean, this is mine. I mean, the great thing now, most of the bands from the 70s that have reformed, they haven't got it anymore. I mean, they're all Max Wall lookalikes.
We've interviewed Status Quo.
So most of the bands, and Status
Get our own back there.
Rick's got his own Barney, bless him. But there's a couple of bands that are extremely well known that actually don't have any sort of any hair left at all. And one of them in particular, who will remain totally nameless, has been offered a fortune. You know, there's been this thing going around, the bands going around unplugged.
Yes.
They've been offered a fortune to go out unrugged. And they won't. And they could clean up if they did. It's almost worth shaving your hair off and say, I'll do it, you know.
What about the one, I mean, Yes was the big success, but
it was
success
still going,
hit you
amazingly
between
enough,
the eyes and you were trying to hit back